I was raped by a madman in the night, and this happened. I never believed in monsters. Not the kind that lurk in shadows or crawl out from under the bed. The real monsters walk in daylight. They smile, they blend in, they don't growl or howl, they whisper. But that night, the monster didn't whisper. He didn't hide. He came in the dark when the whole village was asleep, and he took everything from me. It was a rainy Thursday night. The kind of night where the clouds swallowed the moon and the wind whistled through cracks in the old wooden windows. My mother and siblings had gone to the neighboring village to attend a funeral. I stayed behind because of my upcoming exams. I needed the silence. I needed the peace. But peace is a luxury in a place where broken minds wander freely and no one cares enough to stop them. They called him Ikenna the Mad. He wasn't always, I was raped. They called him Ikenna the Mad. He wasn't always mad. The elders said he used to be a brilliant young man, handsome, kind, full of promise. Then something happened. No one knew what, but he lost his mind and began roaming the village in torn clothes, screaming at trees, talking to invisible enemies, sometimes laughing for no reason. Mothers warned their children not to speak to him. Fathers chased him off their farms, but no one helped him. They let him rot. And something inside him grew darker. That night, I remember closing the book I was reading and blowing out the candle. I laid down on my mat, exhausted, unaware that the real nightmare was just beginning. The rain masked every sound. I didn't hear the footsteps. I didn't hear the latch slide open. I didn't hear him enter until he was already there, standing over me like a demon from the pit of that. I didn't hear him enter until he was already there, standing over me like a demon from the pit of hell. I sat up in panic, heart racing, and froze. Ikenna? I whispered, barely believing my eyes. He didn't speak. His hair was soaked from the rain, his eyes wide and empty, like looking into a pit. He held a rusted machete in one hand and a torn sack in the other. But what scared me most wasn't the machete. It was his smile. A slow, crooked smile that stretched across his face like he knew something I didn't. "Get out!" I screamed. "Get out of my house!" He didn't flinch. Instead, he dropped the sack, closed the door behind him, and locked it. That was the moment I knew I was trapped. I ran toward the window, but he grabbed me from behind. His strength was inhuman. He threw me to the ground like I was weightless. I fought. I screamed. I bit. I scratched. I bit. I scratched. But he was wild. I remember the way he laughed as I struggled beneath him, as though my pain was entertaining. I remember the smell of him, sweat, blood, dirt, madness, and then silence. When it was over, I couldn't move. My legs were numb. My voice was gone. He stood, adjusted his filthy trousers, and whispered something I still hear in my nightmares. "You are mine now." Then he left into the storm, as if nothing had happened. I lay there in the dark, broken, bloodied, violated. I cried so hard I couldn't breathe. Morning came, but the sun didn't shine for me. I sat in the same place, knees to my chest, arms wrapped around myself, rocking. I couldn't tell anyone. Who would believe me? Who would care? Ikenna was mad, yes, but people laughed at him. They feared him, but they didn't think he was capable of such evil. When my mother returned, she found me on the floor, staring blankly at the wall. She rushed to me, shaking me, screaming my name, but I couldn't speak. My body spoke for me. Bruises, torn clothes, blood. Her screams pierced the sky. The neighbors came. They asked questions, they pointed fingers, but it was too late. Something inside me had died. Days passed, then weeks. I barely spoke. I barely ate. Ikenna disappeared. No one knew where he went. Some believed he drowned in the river. Others said he wandered into the forest to die. But I wasn't thinking about him. I was thinking about what was growing inside me. A life. A punishment. A reminder. I missed my period. And that's when I knew. The monster had left a piece of himself behind. Inside me. I stared at the faded calendar on the wall, my finger trembling as I counted again.